But I think something which would greatly improve upon the people-to-people exchanges, it's of course visa-free status between. Thank you. My name is O Isan. I am Malaysian of Chinese descent, so-called third generation Chinese who was born and raised in Malaysia. I first came to China, I think, in the year 2000. I think a lot of people still depend on the traditional train, the large buses and so on for transportation. Now you have very impressive, for example, subways in most of the cities. You also have high-speed rails connecting the cities and so on, not to mention, of course, airplane transportation. Another thing which really impresses me a lot is the wide connectivity of the internet in China. Well, nowadays I do some WeChat Pay, and so sometimes when I am taking taxis, when I buy a cup of coffee and so on, I usually would not use cash anymore. I would just use my WeChat Pay. Yeah. I have worked very closely with Tianjin because I became an observer to the annual meeting of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference session in Beijing. I think for at least 3 years, and I've seen some of these suggestions being adopted. For example, the development of the Tianjin sort of cruise line ports. So now Tianjin has cruise line connections, I think, with many other cities in the region, from Japan all the way down to even Philippines. Yeah. I think the Belt and Road Initiative as proposed by China, there are about 5 main themes. And among these 5 main themes, I think countries like Malaysia, which are traditionally very business-oriented, I think for us the most important thing is trade facilitation. Malaysia and China already are engaged in some of the widest and largest volume of trade in the world. China has been assisting Malaysia in building a lot of ports, in a lot of railways, a lot of roads and so on. And we hope this trend would continue because we firmly believe with these connectivities, again, trade can be enhanced and also the movement of people can be enhanced. But I think the main reason that the Belt and Road Initiative is viewed quite positively by many countries, it's mainly because number one, it's very much pragmatic. It doesn't require, for example, ideological similarity between all those countries participating. It welcomes diversity, and at the same time it is also very much economically oriented. We talk about economic cooperation, we talk about people visiting each other's countries more and thereby exchange their cultural values even more. I think President Xi also mentioned this notion of a world of common destiny, right? I think that's what a lot of countries are also striving together towards. Yeah. I think to have such a world of shared values, of common futures for human beings or humankind, I think number one is very important indeed to have connectivity. That's why all this connection by ports, by air, by railroads and by roads and so on, these are very important to lay the groundwork for this sort of destiny, this sort of common destiny. On top of that, you must have more exchanges. You have more exchanges of goods and services, and also exchanges in terms of physical travels between people. Only then would you, number one, sort of understand each other more, and number two, you enjoy the fruits of development of each other's even more.